Take two. This is Stephen, the Disney Driver Robinson. You're watching the one and only Sport Icon. Bow!
Okay, so I'm sure by now a lot of you have seen Tyson Fury's recent social media clip where he says that now he believes Joe Joyce is the second best heavyweight in the world, maybe even number one. But right now he had to give himself the number one because obviously he's world champion, Joe Joyce is not. So obviously that's going to spark a bit of conversation between a lot of boxing fans. Is Joe Joyce the number two or maybe even the number one? Some people say yes for either one. Some people say no, he's maybe a top 5 or maybe a top 10, however. Now, firstly, why would Tyson Fury say that Joe Joyce is the second best heavyweight in the world? Well, firstly, because he's just knocked out one of his very good pals in Joseph Parker. So he has to give Joe Joyce props, okay? Secondly, he's a Queensberry fighter. They're both Queensberry promoted, so of course he's got to G up his stablemate. Now, it would be very interesting to see them two get it on at some point. Tyson Fury did allude to that. Would it be next? Who knows? Hopefully, that would be nice if the Joshua fight does not come off. But Joe Joyce, Joe Joyce is a machine. He's a machine. And I get the impression he quite likes getting hit. I know a few fighters like that. Steve Robinson, he likes to get hit. He does. But Joe Joyce seems to be that machine. He's a beast. He keeps on coming forward and he will soak up the shots, but he will give out a lot of shots as well. And a lot of people talk way too much about his chin. Nobody's chin is indestructible. Nobody's. I don't care who you are. And there's a very real chance Joe Joyce will get beaten at some point, and it might well be against somebody who you don't expect to beat him. That's usually how it goes. I said the same thing about Joshua way before he fought Andy Ruiz Jr. And I said Andy Ruiz Jr. is actually a very, very tough fight with Anthony Joshua, or for Anthony Joshua. Okay? But that said, Joe Joyce, yes, he can take a good shot. He has been knocked out before. Anthony Joshua stopped him in the first round. You had Sergey Kuzmin knocked him out, essentially, as far as the amateur rules are concerned. And whatever else. He's been outboxed by Alexander Usyk in the amateurs and whatever else. But again, that's amateurs. This is now. Joe Joyce is a bigger, stronger, more seasoned guy now. But he is he's just relentless. He's on you. He is like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers who put boxing gloves on him. That's what he is. You can hit him, but he's going to keep on coming forward. Now, that's not to say he doesn't feel the shots. Of course he does. Of course he does. There's no way that he doesn't. Okay, he's a human being. But at the end of the day, you put him in there with Joshua, with Dillian Whyte, with Andy Ruiz Jr., with Deontay Wilder, with Frank Sanchez, with Makhmudov, and whoever else you want to put out there, okay? Does Joe Joyce beat all of them? Tyson Fury. Does he beat Tyson Fury? Well, Joe Joyce can beat all of them. Of course he can. Doesn't mean he will. It means he can beat all of them. All of them can beat each other, really, on their night. But some are just a couple of levels above the other one. But again, especially a heavyweight, one punch will change everything. It really will. But Joe Joyce being the number 2 heavyweight in the world, maybe. I can't argue with that fact. I can't. Or that opinion, I should say. It's not a fact, it's an opinion. But he really impressed me against Joseph Parker. Now, Joseph Parker did some real good stuff in that fight against Joe Joyce. The fact that he came forward and threw like 150 left hooks off the bounce on a couple of occasions. Just literally bang, 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 bang. That was pretty good. That had Joe Joyce stepping backwards. Okay, I'm exaggerating the amount of punches, but it was a few, okay? And he was doing well where he would throw the body shot and then come upstairs to the top. And the thing is with Joseph Parker is that I don't think his camp, or at least the advice coming from his camp, was that good. Because what you don't do is fight in the back foot at range of Joe Joyce's range. You try and get up close on Joe Joyce. That should have been basic 101, shouldn't it? That said, he did very well against Parker. Was the only person to actually legitimately knock out Joseph Parker. Of course, Parker, he's been on the deck before, twice against Dillian Whyte, once against Derek Chisora, but to actually get knocked out, Joe Joyce punches very hard and with both hands. Joe Joyce doesn't waste punches. He doesn't. He can hurt you with the left and the right. But I will be very, very interested to see what kind of fights he has next. Put him in there with Usyk. Interesting. Put him in there with Fury. Interesting. Put him in there with Joshua, with Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder. Any name that you could think of. Martin Piccoli. Interesting. All of them are very, very interesting. Joe Joyce, in my opinion, you have to put him up there, at least as a talking point. He could beat Tyson Fury. He could. Tyson Fury is a 6'9" frame. He can't stay out of the way forever. He can't. But at the same time, his ring IQ, his movement is going to cause Joe Joyce problems. It is. As is Alexander Usyk. The power punches of an Anthony Joshua when he plants his feet, that left hook of Dillian Whyte, that straight right hand from Deontay Wilder, they could all cause Joe Joyce problems. They could. But likewise, maybe he could take all of them shots. Maybe he can trap Usyk, can trap Fury. Could Usyk and Fury take the barrage of punches, heavy-handed punches from Joe Joyce? I don't think so. Anyway, I think it's a good point, a valid point even, that Tyson Fury raised, that Joe Joyce is the second best heavyweight in the world. Could well be. Over the next couple of fights, hopefully we find out. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.